Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Warkana. In this video record, I'm going to talk about the difference between public administration and private administration. So in our previous video record, we defined what administration is, and then even we defined what public administration is. Now, we want to see the difference between public administration and private administration. It's obvious that there is a difference between public administration and the private administration, right? So in this video record, we'll see the difference from different angles. Here, administration as a process of organizing and managing activity to achieve a specific goal operate within both public and private administration. One of the commonality between public administration and private administration, even is from the term, it is this term administration. So the process of caring, the process of managing, the process of doing some activities in order to achieve a common goal is one of the similarities, because we have this term administration, both in public administration and private administration, and we know how we defined the administration, right? Therefore, this is one of the common practice. Administration actually practiced both in public administration and the private administration, right? However, public administration and the private administration differ significantly in their purpose, in scope, and in their operational contexts. Even if we have these similarities, but there is a difference in public administration and the private administration in terms of this from this angle. In terms of purpose, the purpose of public administration and the private administration is really different. In terms of scope, there is a difference between public administration and the private administration, and in terms of operational context as well, there is a differences. We will see that thing. Now let us see the difference between public administration and the private administration from this angle, from these aspects. In terms of political direction and the ministerial responsibility, for example, public administration operate under political directions. The minister set policies, that is the ministers. Of course, they are the same, the ministers and the bureaucrat are in the same branch of the government. Both of them are in the executive branch of the government. The minister, the top, set the policies, the bureaucrats, the public servant implement it. Therefore, we have the influence, or the public administration has the influence of the politics, right? And they are operating under the environment of politics, right? Politics is one of the elements of public administration. When we come to the private administration, not directed by political authorities, even if the rule, the policies, the procedure of the country may influence the operation of private administration, but there is no direct control of the public authorities or political authorities or private administration. The name by itself, private administration, is administered by who? The private sector. Therefore, the role of the government is not as strong as it is in the public administration. The decisions are made by the owner or the managers. The decision concerning that private sector actually should be made by the owner, not by the government. The role of the government, the interference of the government in the private decision making is low, right? It's very low. It's insignificant. Profit motive or marginal benefit. In terms of profit motive, it's obvious. The public administration motive is not about profit. Rather, it is about serving. It's about responding to the public need, right? Service oriented. Profit is not an objective. Many services operate even at financial losses for public benefits. Therefore, the major goal of public administration is not profit. It is public benefits. It's about providing public needs, right? Whereas in the private administration, it is profit oriented. If that service will not give them a profit, they will not operate. That's obvious. If there is no profit, there is no service. They are operating if and only if they get a profit, right? Profit is the main motive of private administration. One of the reason of existence of private administration is profit, obvious. Social necessities, public administration focus on meeting broader social needs, such as transport, health, service, communication, and defense and the public utilities. Whereas private administration focus mainly on producing and supplying marketable goods and service for economic gain, that is profit. You understand? In terms of social necessities, the private administration mainly engage in producing marketable, something that they can change it into money and then get a profit or maximize a profit. And they want to get economic benefits. You understand? If there is no benefit, there is no private administration. Public responsibilities, public administration, they are accountable to the public and they are subject to the public inspection and the criticisms, must respond to citizen need. They are actually servant of the public. They are responsible for the public. Whereas the private administration primarily responsible to the owner, not to the public, to the stakeholders. Focus on organizational interest rather than public interest. Public interest is not their main agenda. Their main agenda is organizational benefit, organizational benefit, organizational interest rather than public interests. Uniformity of treatment. Public administration treat all citizens uniformly. That is the basic role of public administration, serving all beneficiaries or citizens equally according to the law. There is no discrimination, right? There is no discrimination in public administration in principle, right? More flexible in procedures, whereas in the private administration there is a flexibility. Finance are controlled internally without public legislative oversight. There is no legislative oversight in private administration, but in the public administration there is a legislative oversight. Their financial utilization actually audited by the legislative, right? Therefore, they are responsible for that. In terms of conformity to the laws and the regulation, public administration should act according to the law. There is all action against the law is invalid in public administration, whereas in the private administration has fewer legal constraints compared to the public administration and greater operational flexibility. Of course, they need to respect the law of the land, they need to act according to the business law of the country, but there is, of course, over there is some flexibilities in terms of implementation. But whereas in the public administration, they need to, that there is no option. They have to act according to the law of the land. They need to respect the rule of the land, right? That is obvious in public administration. But in the private administration, there is operational flexibilities. Now this is the difference. Now let us see the similarity between public administration and private administration. The similarities. Of course, they have differences from both aspects. Now let us see the similarity between public administration and the private administration from these aspects in terms of managerial techniques. They are using the same management technique, management system. So that is one similarity. Both public administration and the private administration use similar management functions such as planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling, right? In terms of hierarchies, they have also the same hierarchies. They have a manager over there, then there is a director, then there is a workers. So both organizations follow hierarchical structure for authority and responsibilities. They are using the same hierarchical structures. So this is the similarity between public administration and private administration. In terms of administrative procedure, both maintain uniform system in accounting, office management. They are using the same principle, specifically in terms of financial management, in accounting, right? Bookkeeping or all those accounting terms. They are using the same rules, the same procedures. Office management, they are using the same office management principle. Procurement, they are using the same procurement, approaches or procedure. Record keeping, statistics, and inventory management. They are using the same procedure in these activities. In terms of mutual influence, actually, action in public administration may influence the action in the private administration, right? So they influence each other. So both practice and standard in each sector influence the other. The practice and the standard in both sectors influence each other, right? That's also one thing. Public administration influences the private administration, and the practice and the standard in the private administration in one way or another also influence the functionality, the operation of public administrations. So public corporations are seen as a blend of government and a commercial organization. In terms of common challenge, they have also common challenges. Both face similar issues in organization, personnel management, and financial administration. So they have common enemies, right? Or they have some common challenges. In terms of personnel exchanges, also there is a similarity between private administration and the public administration in terms of personnel exchanges. There is a movement and a rotation of personnel between the public and the private sectors, right? There is a movement, right? Some workers can, maybe initially they are working for public organization or public sector, they can go for the private sector, or anyone who work in private administration can, if they want, if they believe they can get a benefit, if they work in public administration, they can change their workplaces from private administration to public administration, right? So here we have a class debate that we will practice this class debate in our class session. So I would like to thank you for watching this video record, and also I believe this video record will help you to understand the concept of public administration and the private administration, the difference between public administration and the private administration, as well as the similarity between public administration. Of course, we believe that there is a differences. There is not that much argument on the difference between public administration and the private administration, but even they have similarities, right? There is some similarity between public administration and the private administration, and I believe this video record help you to understand both the similarity as well as the difference between public administration and private administration. Thank you very much for watching this video record. In the next video record, we will discuss about the evolution of public administrations, the evolution, the school of thought of public administration in detail. Thank you very much for watching this video record. See you in the next video record.